I ask for clear and concise messages for the collective. May these messages only be for the highest health, wealth, abundance, well-being, alignment, prosperity, and success of my collective and whoever this message is for. Any messages that do not lead to their highest timeline, deepest alignment, and absolute wholeness, please block and shut that door. I am honored to deliver these messages free of interference for the highest ascension of Earth's consciousness and evolution. Ashe, it is done. Thank God. Thank you, angels. Love you guys so much. Oh, I'm sleepy, y'all. Sleepy. Let's get into some general collective energy. We just had a crazy intense Scorpio full moon. God, thank you, angels. 5:38 on the clock. The moon is still full. It's in Sagittarius now. But yeah, and we are getting ready to have Pluto station retrograde. I want to say Pluto is actually officially stationing retrograde today or tomorrow, where Pluto has actually been in its retrograde shadow period. So there's been a lot of themes around power imbalances, illuminating imbalanced power dynamics, reclaiming your power, your sovereignty, your personal power. These have been wonderful and necessary themes that have been rising to the surface. We got Pluto. Pluto is all about unearthing what is trying to stay hidden underneath the surface and bringing it to the light, right? Bringing things that want to stay hidden to the light. Bringing things that want to stay hidden to the light. Bringing things that want to stay hidden to the light. It's all about Pluto. Okay. That feels good? Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we are. Can we clarify this Queen of Cups, please? Okay. Okay, so what I'm getting from this energy, so we have the first card out, the Queen of Cups. I have the Queen of Cups upright and the Two of Swords in the reverse. Now, this is giving me, what this gives me is you are currently, this is really speaking to me. The picture is really speaking to me. You are someone who is currently in a state of rest, in a state of healing, prioritizing your healing, prioritizing your rest, prioritizing your balance, prioritizing your nervous system, prioritizing your breath, right? In your inner world, like really focusing on tending to your inner garden, right? The garden of your mind. You're tending to the garden of your mind. Not the circumstances, but the conditions. You're focused on the conditions of your mind. So you may be someone who's currently grounding, right? Maybe you love to go by the water and ground. You may be someone that likes to sit on the shore and ground. You're focused on your cup. You're focused on your emotional well-being. You're focused on staying in a space of compassion. Yeah, that is your main focus. And in the photo, there are like gremlins creeping around. So there's a gremlin and they look angry. I don't know if it can. These are two like little gremlins. Underneath the chair. So you're sitting here tempered. This is a very temperance type energy. You're tempered, you're grounded. You're focusing on your well-being, your emotional well-being. You're focused on your cup. You have your eyes on your cup. You have your eyes on your emotional world, your emotional state of being. And they're gremlins looking at you and angry. Looking at you prioritize your inner world, prioritize your peace, prioritize your coherence, prioritize your coherence in how you feel. And there's 1, 2, 3. There's one hiding underneath the chair. There's one, and you're just focused on, it's like you have your back turned to the naysayers. You have your back turned to the haters. It's like, this came to me earlier, but when Doja Cat said, my happiness is all of your misery, right? My happiness is all of your misery. Your happiness is their misery. Your happiness is their misery. And your misery is their happiness. These are people who thrive on you being miserable. Your happiness is their misery. So this is you sitting, minding your business, sitting on your throne as a queen, tending to yourself. This is big self-care energy. This is taking time out energy, right? Taking time out and focusing on self-care. And there are gremlins who are mad about it. And you don't give a fuck. Because you clearly, I mean, all you have to do is turn around and you'll see them. So you have your back to it. This is not a lack of awareness. This is an intentionally turning your back on it and saying, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about what these gremlins fucking think. Like, I'm choosing happiness, right? And that's the energy. That's exactly what I got from this energy. So the Queen of Cups with the Two of Swords in the reverse. The Two of Swords is like you sitting in like a balanced Queen of Cups energy is making energies, or there's a particular energy that is feeling off balance because of it, right? So the Two of Cups, the Two of Swords in reverse is like confusion. It's almost like you prioritizing your emotions is sort of leaving these energies with sort of like nothing to do. Like they don't know what to do. They don't really know what to do because you're in a space of prioritizing yourself. It's almost like they have to kind of like face themselves. They have no one to enact whatever gremlin type behavior that they were trying to inflict on you, they have kind of like nothing better to do, because they kind of have to look at themselves, but they don't want to. So it ties them up. They're in a crossed up condition because they are being forced to look at themselves, but refusing to look at themselves. They're refusing to see really what they are and who they are, and it creates this tangled up situation. There's 3 gremlins around you, so I don't know if this is like 3 people. We have Gemini and Cancer out here, as well as Libra. So you could be a Gemini, Cancer, or Libra. These gremlins are just kind of creeping in the background. And you know what's really fucking crazy? You know what's really fucking crazy? Like, this card, before I started recording, the fact that this is the first card to come out, before I started recording, I felt like something was watching my back. It was a really weird feeling. And I cleanse the space before I read very, very well. So I had already cleansed the area. But for some reason, I still felt something on my back. I literally felt something on my back. And I was like, so I had this off and my back just felt overly exposed. And that's not usually how I feel. And I had already cleansed. So I knew that it was something to it. I knew it was something to it. So it's like you're trying to get motherfuckers off your back. So these maybe flying monkeys, people, maybe you have someone who is doing a little too much of this about you, and they're sending people into your energy wherever they can view you. They could be sending people to your social media. They could be sending people to check on you. They could be sending flying monkeys, people to kind of scope out the scene to see if what they said was true, right? You just get these monkeys off your back and focus on your cup and stay balanced and stay tempered. And your happiness is their misery. Your happiness, my happiness is all of their misery. I put all of my kidneys. Paint the Town Red by Doja Cat. Paint the Town Red. So your happiness is their misery. You being balanced makes them off balance. You prioritizing your emotions leaves them in a space of not really knowing what to do, because they don't know where to direct the energy that they were sending. So because you have your back turned, right? So you have your back turned to this energy. Because you have your back turned, you're not actively receiving whatever energy they're trying to emit. It's an energy, it's an emission. It's an emission of energy. Right? Swords are here, so this could be dialogue, it could be thoughts, energy, thoughts, projections. You are not receiving whatever emissions or whatever someone is trying to emit toward you, because you're too busy focused on your cup, your well-being, and your emotional state. And that puts this energy extremely out of balance, because excuse me, y'all. So you are focused on your cup. You have your back turned, so you're not receiving whatever emissions or whatever is being emitted from this entity. You are not receiving it, right? And so because you are not receiving it, that energy kind of has to return back to its owner, right? So you are someone where you may be prioritizing your peace. You may have just done a return to sender. You may be actively calling your energy back, calling your power back. energy has been returned because your back is turned and you're not feeding into it. This energy has no choice. This person, this entity has no choice but to kind of sit in their own energy and kind of face their own energy and kind of like see what they are sending out, but they are not ready to face their own energy, right? So it's putting them in this state of confusion. It's putting them in this very highly Why did that echo? That came out really weird. Highly. That echoed. That was really strange. Echo. Echo and narcissist. Echo and narcissist. You may be dealing with a narcissist. For some reason, when I said highly, it echoed in my ear. And I don't have heavy acoustics in here. So echo and narcissist. Echo and narcissist is Greek mythology. So you may be dealing with a narcissist. You may be dealing with someone who this person is actually refusing to see their own reflection. They're refusing. They're refusing accountability here, right? And so it's creating sort of a crossed up condition for them where they really are like, I'm getting like stuck in a web of themselves. That's what I'm getting from this energy. And it's like you've turned your back to it because you're like, honestly, I just have to prioritize myself. Like, this is someone behind the scenes, right? Because we have the moon here. This is hidden, right? What I said at the beginning of the reading. Pluto in retrograde. Pluto is to bring to light what wants to stay hidden. I'm burping. Excuse me, y'all. What I'm getting from this energy is this is not you. This isn't an energy that you're in, right? We have the moon, we have the 7 of swords, and we have the 9 of swords. This is not you, right? This is someone's energy in relation to your wish come true, your 9 of cups. So someone behind the scenes, strategically acting, sort of plotting, you know, this gives plotting, screaming? Plotting and scheming, screaming. Screaming. This could be someone who feels very, 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 okay, I just heard a honk. Okay, this confirmation. This is someone who's almost in agony. When I tell you agony, like screaming. This gives screaming at the sky. This is screaming behind the scenes, in distress, in despair, in worry, in anxiety, in hopelessness, in defeat. In worry, in anxiety, and strategically, let's see if we can get, strategically acting, plotting, right? Because we have the 7 of swords, plotting against you having this wish fulfillment. You're manifesting through heartbreak. Even in the midst of your own broken heart, you are still moving forward. You are still moving in you are in a Nine of Pentacles. You're moving toward a Nine of Cups. You have to be currently in this Nine of Cups energy spiritually for this person to be this distraught about it. So you're manifesting through a broken heart, right? You're still actively in pursuit of seeing the fruits of your labor, right? You're moving toward financial independence. You're moving toward self-sufficiency. And there's someone who's very, very, very distraught about it. I'm not really sure why. There's a feeling of betrayal here. Like this person feels betrayed in some way. This person feels betrayed. I'm reading it in two different ways. So they behind the scenes sort of creating strategic plots and plans, sort of doing work in the dark, right? These are swords, so these could just be speaking against your wish come true, speaking against your abundance, swords are all about communication, but I see it as like thought forms, energy. When you think something, I see it as gossip, energy, thought forms. So speaking out against what you're building, your wish come true, because this person is stressed out about what you have coming in. And then I also am reading it as this person is feeling like there's a betrayal here, right? They're in this state of feeling like maybe you were somehow emotionally manipulative to them. Like I said, at the beginning of this reading, I heard an echo, and it echo and narcissist came to mind. So this is someone who is confirmed as a narcissist, right? So this is a narcissist who feels almost their own, they're like feeling their own energy and trying to put it on you, right? This is not being able to face themselves, not being able to look in the mirror, and this is a lack of accountability. This is not being able to face themselves, and so they are sort of in a cross-up condition and in a state of grief and self-pity and feeling like someone did something to them, because the energy that they were putting out is actually the energy that they're claiming that you were in. So the energy that they're putting out, which is strategically manifesting behind the scenes, they're looking at you like you prioritizing your happiness and you prioritizing your mental, emotional well-being is somehow you actively, strategically operating against them behind the scenes, like you're being sneaky, you're, trying to cast illusions, you're being emotionally manipulative. This is a person who isn't able to see themselves. They're too busy putting their negative energy that belongs to them on you. And you have your back to the bullshit. So you're turned away from it. This looks like, I'm getting the High Priestess here. This looks like something that you already know. That's why your back is to it, right? So this is something that you're aware of, right? The Queen of Cups is very intuitive. The Queen of Cups is extremely deeply, deeply intuitive. So your intuition is telling you that your focus needs to be on your cup, on your emotional well-being, with your back turned away from the situation, because there is an overall lack of accountability. There's an overall lack of, there's a person in your energy that refuses to see themselves, and they are literally pinning all their negative traits onto you. So where they were emotionally manipulative, right? Because you are choosing to prioritize your wish come true, your emotional state, they feel like you were strategically acting and moving behind the scenes and doing things in the dark to like be emotionally manipulative. They feel betrayed. You prioritizing yourself makes them feel betrayed, right? So you are exiting the cycle of self-betrayal. You are exiting the cycle of self-betrayal. Someone feeling betrayed by you because you chose yourself means that the dynamic that you were in required some level of self-betrayal. This dynamic that you were in, what was required of you to keep it going was self-betrayal. For someone to feel betrayed by you prioritizing your inner world, your emotional well-being, your nervous system, you know, your happiness, and feeling connected. This is a connectedness. This is feeling connected to, like, this is you. This is definitely like high vibrational energy. This is connected, like feeling connected, feeling a higher level. Fifth dimensional consciousness, right? Feeling connected to all things, feeling one with all things, you know, kind of exiting the realm of chaos, exiting the realm of strife and just, you know, moving out of that realm and moving into a space of just feeling deeply connected to all things, right? Anyone that feels betrayed by you doing that means that there was self-betrayal that was keeping this connection alive. Because it's like it had to be either you're betraying them or you're betraying them yourself. That is the only dynamic. That is the dynamic in which this union can operate. You betraying them or you betraying yourself. You chose not to betray yourself, and that is bringing them into the state of feeling betrayed. What I'm getting from this is, when it comes to betrayal and when it comes to self-betrayal, you don't just betray yourself once. You don't betray yourself twice. You have to betray yourself every single time you interact with this person. Whether it be consciously, unconsciously, whether this be online, whether you know this person in person. You know what? For some reason, what's coming in is this could be an online relationship. This could be long distance. This could be long distance. This could be online. I'm getting a very energetic, I'm getting a very energy-based reading. Like, this is energy, right? These are vibrations, energy. Like, this doesn't feel like it's super, this doesn't feel super 3D. It feels very like 12th housey, kind of up in the air, just kind of like word on the spiritual streets type energy. Word in the spiritual streets. Like, you know, when energy is more felt, there's dialogue being had, but it's not necessarily something that's super in the 3D. So this, or it could be long distance. This could be long distance. This could be online. This could be an online relationship. You're able to communicate almost telepathically. This is a very like telepathic type energy, you know, sort of like receiving information and kind of like moving accordingly. Yeah, this person wanted to act against your emotions. They wanted to attack your emotional state, because to attack something is to take action against, right? So they wanted to attack your emotional state. They wanted to act in the dark, right? This is the Nine of Swords, the Moon. This is acting in the darkness. This is at night. This is the acting in the dark, at night, in the dark, while you're in bed or while they're in bed. It's like this person was strategically finding ways to work up against you emotionally and sort of like distort your emotions and cast illusions over your emotional state, right? Premonition. You may have had a dream about this. You may have had a dream about this person. They may be stressed about a dream you had. They may be stressed about your intuition. They could be stressed out about your intuition, or stressed that you may be actively gearing up to do something to them because of your... I don't know. It's almost like they're afraid of what you may know. They're afraid of what you may know. Right, the moon, for some reason, the moon, I'm getting a high priestess energy from this moon. I don't get it. Yeah, can we clarify this? Can we clarify this Nine of Swords? To me, what this Six of Pentacles gives is like losing grip. So the Six of Pentacles, we have to think about that as like equal give and take, but it's also, I see the Six of Pentacles as what you're being gifted, right? What you're being gifted is the Six of Pentacles, something being given to you. So this is coming out in the reverse. So this is almost like something being taken, right? This is this person feeling like something is being taken from them, right? This person is feeling like, I'm getting a losing of grip energy, like they're losing their grip. They're stressed about losing grip and feeling like something was taken from them. You think of the Six of Pentacles, you think of receiving, right? When I see it in reverse, I think of whatever was in their hands being taken out of their hands, right? So this is a losing of grip, right? Something being taken. And what I'm receiving from this energy is like, it's almost like this person may perceive you sort of living in a state of being where you're sort of like in a, you being in a very happy home life. You having a happy home life. You focus on you having vision for the long term. You diligently working toward your goals. You sort of seeing results. And you preparing for a wonderful, like, you're preparing for your opportunities. You're actively preparing. You're in a state of preparation. And it's like, in spite of this like Ten of Swords energy, it's sort of like backstabbings. I'm getting backstabbing energy. So you may have been stabbed in the back 10 times. You know what I mean? By 10 different people. It doesn't even have to be people, just situations, things that have wounded you, right? Things that really, the Ten of Swords is like, look at him. Like, the Ten of Swords is like, this is being fucked up. And in spite of it all, through multiple backstabbings, through multiple betrayals, through multiple sort of like endings, painful endings, you are actually, the painful endings are actually positioning you for your opportunities. The painful endings are actually what is positioning you to your opportunities. Almost like the painful endings were acting as preparation for what's coming in for you. So it's almost like all the painful endings were tests. They were preparation. They were lessons. You are actively someone who is invested in creating a beautiful home life for yourself and doing the things that are required to reap and sustain long-term sort of results. So there's discipline here, there's diligence here, there's working with the future in mind. So this is very goal-oriented, and even through all of the betrayals, you're still actively on your way. And it's like, for some reason, this person feels like that is taking something from them, right? I keep burping in threes. Each time I burp, I'm burping in threes, right? Right? So this could be 3 people. I don't know. 3 might be significant. 333. You may be seeing 333. My ear just popped as soon as I said that. So 333, right? So for some reason, this person feels like you being in this state of being where you're balanced is taking something away from them, right? And the Six of Pentacles has a lot to do with, especially in the reverse, has a lot to do with, to me, what this gives is like tyranny. Tyranny. Dictatorship. Tyranny. Unequal give and take, right? Imbalanced energy, right? Pentacles are almost like they thought they could take your gifts. They thought they could take your gifts. They thought that they could take, because this is clarified, for some reason, they thought that they could take your gifts. Right? Because the Pentacles represent gifts. It represents tangible gifts, right? It doesn't even have to be tangible. I mean, it can be just gifts. They thought they could take them. They thought they had the power to take them. And it's like that. The same thing that they thought they were taking, or they thought that they had the power to take, is like they're losing grip on it, or they have lost grip on it. Where they feel like that was taken from them. So the thing they were trying to take from you, they feel like is being taken from them. But it's something that they were taking from you. So it's like you're taking it back. You're calling your energy back. You're taking your power back. You're taking your energy back. You're calling your fragments back. You're calling your emotional energy back. You're calling your gifts back to you, right? Or the gifts that they claim or they thought they could take, right? My left foot is itching. This is all about forward movement, right? This is all about your path moving forward. Like the foot represents forward movement, especially on the right side. It's almost like they thought that they could sort of like take your path, collect your path from you, take your forward movement, hijack or get in the way of your forward movement. You taking a step in the right direction. They wanted to get in the way and literally take that. My left foot is itching, and that has a lot to do with your forward movement, your movement forward, a step in the right direction, progression, and it has so much to do with your path and your path moving forward. And this person feels like it feels like what they were taking from you is now out of grasp for them. And for them, for it to be out of grasp for them means that this has to be coming back to you. So this is someone who thought they had the power to take your gifts, thought they had the power to hijack your path. They feel like because you being in a happy state takes something from them, but it's not taking anything from them. It's taking what they have taken from you. You are calling your power back. You are calling your energy back. You are taking your power back. It was never theirs. What they are heard about losing was not anything that was theirs to begin with. They were holding on to a false sense of power. Right? Someone thinking that they can manipulate your path, right? Because we have the Seven of Swords here, which is very strategic, very manipulative. We have the Moon here. We have Swords here. Someone thinking that they can manipulate your path or manipulate your movement or manipulate your forward movement or somehow take something from you, take something that they felt like you were receiving, take your gifts from you. Someone who feels like they can do those things is someone who wanted to play God in your life. They wanted to play God in your life. And there is, like I said, this distraught energy, this up at night, really anxious and worried type energy at the fact that the thing that they were taking or the thing that they were holding is being taken from them, but it's just being given back to you. But it's just what's rightfully yours returning back to you. And that puts them in this state of really not knowing what else to do, because this is someone who just has to sit. It's kind of like, this is an energy of, well, they made their bed, now they have to lay in it, right? This is you laid your bed, now you have to lay in it. Or you made your bed, now you have to lay in it. They have to lay in the bed that they made, right? And they're not willing to. This is like well, you made your bed, now lay in it. But this is like them trying to say, well, you made their bed, and now they have to lay in this bed that you made. It's a very blame pointing fingers type energy. It's, well, you made this bed for me, and now I have to lay in this bed. So it's you, because they're not willing to see themselves. This is a narcissist. They're not willing to see themselves. They're not willing to look in the mirror. They're looking at you. Right? They're looking at you and projecting their negative qualities onto you. They're projecting their negative qualities onto you, and they're saying, well, because you took what was rightfully yours, right? You didn't take anything. I mean, you can't take what's yours. You can't take what's yours. You can't take your gifts. They're yours. Your gifts is just being returned back to you after they tried to take it. So now it's like, you took this from me. You took this from me. You took your gifts from me. Oh my God. It's like you took these gifts that was mine. They wanted the power to be able to take from you. They wanted the power. They thought they had the power to take from you. They thought they had the power to snatch whatever the fuck they could snatch from you. They just was like, bitch, I'm gonna snatch this, and because I can. They wanted to play God, just snatch it because they can. And now they feel like, oh, well, because what was not rightfully theirs that they had is being returned back to you. Whether the divine is returning it, whether you called your power back, whether you took your power back, however, it's being returned back to you. But they're in this energy of, well, that was like they literally thought it was theirs. Like, this is a very distorted type energy. It's like they literally try to take your gifts, take your forward movement, manipulate your path, and then was like, felt like they were right in doing so. Because, and the reason why I'm saying they felt like they were right in doing so is because they feel wronged. Because what wasn't theirs to begin with was returned back to you. They feel like they've been betrayed. They feel like they've been backstabbed. They feel like they've been, like, this person is not willing to see themselves. They're projecting all of this onto you like you did something to them. Like they have to lay in the bed that they made, but they're claiming you made their bed that they have to lay in. They're just pointing fingers. It's just blame. It's just blame, 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 blame. They're not doing nothing but sitting and blaming you. Blaming you. Blaming the collective. You did something to them. You prioritized yourself. You betrayed them. You took your power back. You took your power back from them. You took something back from them. You called your path back, and that means that you did something to them. Like, this person is very distorted. Like I said, I got at the beginning that this is someone who's a narcissist. And you're literally focusing on your peace. You're literally just want to be happy and just have a relaxed nervous system, feel good in your life. Focus on your gifts, right? Your gifts are what's rightfully yours, not anybody else's, right? Because this is not coming out as like you taking their gifts, right? This is a Six of Pentacles in reverse. So this is imbalanced power dynamic. This is, they thought they had the power to take your gifts. Right? And it's slipping, and it's being taken from them. And them playing victim. And all you're doing is just actively like rising above everything that you've been through. You're just rising above it. You're just pulling the swords out of your back and you're keeping it moving. You're manifesting through a broken heart. You know what I mean? You're trying to stay balanced. You're manifesting through a broken heart, and you're actively preparing, because this person, like I said, with the Six of Pentacles in reverse, my right foot itching, you know, thinking that they could take your gifts, thinking they can take your path moving forward, thinking they can take your forward movement. And you are still in a space of preparation. You are still in this energy. This is working toward your long-term views, right? This is looking ahead. You're in preparation and you're still working toward your long-term views, which means you're still moving forward. You're still moving forward. You're moving forward, and they're doing this. They're crossed up in their own energy that they're not willing to face. They're crossed up in their own energy they're not willing to face. And you're to blame, apparently. You made their bed that they have to lay in. I don't know who's making other people's beds around here. Maybe they thought you was a maid. Maybe they thought you were the maid. Maybe they thought your life was supposed to just, you were just. So according to them, you made their bed. Now they have to lay in the bed you made. Right? Because this person is having to face themselves. They're having to face their own energy because you have your back to their shenanigans. I mean, honestly, the word shenanigans came to mind. Shenanigans. I mean, and according to them, they didn't make their bed that they had to lay in. You made it. You made it. You made it. I don't know. And I said in the last part, I said, I don't know who's making other people's beds out here, but apparently you making people's beds. I don't know. Maybe they thought you were the maid. Maybe they thought you were the maid. Right? So what I see this as, so we have the Ace of Cups, we have the Hangman, we have the Five of Wands, and we have the King of Cups. This is like, to me, I see the Hangman as like, ooh, I'm like super burpy. These are confirmation burps, but I'm burping in threes for some reason. Like every time I burp 3 times. So I'm like, child, 3, 3 through 3, like create. That's just a side note. But the Hangman is here, and the Hangman is all about a new perspective or a higher perspective, right? And so what I see the Hangman at in this spread is like the Ace of Cups is like, literally what I get from this is, you prepare a place for me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil and my cup overflows. So you prepare a place for me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil and my cup overflows. It's a good prayer. It's a good prayer to say. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. Right? So this is really elevation, right? What I'm getting from this Hangman energy is like elevation. Elevating above the noise, the chaos, the fighting, the aggression, the blame, the pointing the fingers, the strife, the war consciousness, war. Staying emotionally balanced and rising above it. This someone who wanted to go to war with you. You're literally ascending. You're literally ascending. Like you're ascending. And this is another verse that's coming to mind. It's, he who dwelleth in the shadow, or he who rests in the shadow of the Almighty will also, he who dwell in the Most High will also rest in the shadow of the Almighty. So dwelling in the shadow of the Most High will also rest in the shadow of the Almighty. So he who dwell in the shadow of the Most High will also rest in the shadow of the Almighty. If you make the Most High your dwelling, no harm will come near your tent, right? You will only see with your eyes the punishment of the wicked, right? So 10,000 on your left side and 10,000 on your right side will fall, but none of it will come near you. You will only see with your eyes the punishment of the wicked. And to me, what that verse tells us is that when you rise your consciousness, right? When you raise above the 4D and you raise into 5D consciousness, you are actually elevating, you are in a state of oneness, right? So the Almighty represents oneness, represents the source, the one source, right? Source consciousness. So the Almighty is, you are closer, you are in the shadow of the Almighty. So you are actually in oneness. So when you are rising in frequency and you are in this fifth dimensional consciousness, right? You're ascending sort of above the chaos of the fourth dimension, the strife of the fourth dimension, the fragmentation, the conflict, the separation, the butting of heads, the consciousness beefing with itself, the fragments being fragmented, and then the fragments acting against itself. You're not acting against yourself anymore. You're not operating against yourself anymore. So because you're not operating against yourself, it's almost like you have to exit the equation. You're transcending the inner war within you. You're transcending that. You're literally healing and ascending. You're literally healing and ascending in frequency. Because you're not acting against yourself. Therefore, it's almost like that whole paradigm of acting against someone else, it's not working. And when I say he who dwelleth in the shadow, he who dwelleth, she who dwelleth in the Most High will also dwell in the shadow of the Almighty. You're closer, you're ascending, you're in oneness, right? You're closer to source creation. You're in alignment with source creation, right? Because the source ain't beefing. Source ain't beefing with itself. Only the fragments are. Only the fragments are, and that's only in the fourth dimension. So you're rising into fifth dimensional consciousness, right? Where you will only see with your eyes the punishment of the wicked, but it can't come near you because you're vibrating too high. There's no chaos in the fifth dimension. There's no fragmentation. There's no separation. There's no strife. There's no war, right? So as long as you are ascending your frequency and you are ascending your consciousness, right? Which is something that literally you're actively doing. You're actively focused on this. No harm will come near you. It can't. You will only see with your eyes. You will only be able to kind of look out and be like, oh, it can't touch you. I'd recommend if you guys are root workers, if any of you guys are into hoodoo, or even like the Christian witches, these are great prayers. Yeah, you are literally like, this is good. This is good energy. This is really, really, really good energy. Trying to see where I want to expand. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end this reading off there. Congratulations, right? You are transcending the inner war, the ways that you betray and work up against yourself, and it's bringing you into a new realm of existence, into a new reality where certain things just won't exist anymore. Strife and all of the crap. You're moving into a space where it can't reach you. It can't touch you, right? You got your back to the gremlins, right? But these gremlins, eventually these gremlins can only watch you from a distance and it won't ever affect you. So keep going. I love you.